Good morning.
Good morning. Give me 1 second here to make sure everything is being recorded and or live streamed. All right. All right. Is this everybody we're expecting this morning slash early afternoon?
Tiffany, is Brett or
I
Alex?
believe Alex is attending. He did contact me this morning asking if I was going to be present. So let me send him a message.
Okay.
Sure. Let me check in who we have now. We have Mr. Sheldon from planning. And I have Elizabeth Schmidt.
Yes, I'm with GBBN and part of the applicant.
Okay. And Tiffany Wilson.
Yes, I'm with the YWCA.
And I have Phil O'Neill.
Yes.
Who are you representing today?
I'm the owner of the property 3564 Van Antwerp Place.
Got you. And Mr. Burson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm assisting the YWCA with this project as the owner's representative.
All right. And we'll give whoever, what is Alex, I believe you said his name was, give him an opportunity. Oh, there he is. Never mind. Good morning. I have Alex Coons. Who are you representing today?
The YWCA.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. Now that I've checked everybody in, let me do a brief introduction. It's like a hearing script. It is for my benefit as well as yours. Today is June 11th. It's the June 11th, 2025 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. My name is Ashton Tucker. I will be serving as your zoning hearing examiner for the city of Cincinnati, and I'll be presiding over this hearing. The case before us today is ZH20250047. That is involving the property located at 3565 Van Antwerp Place. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant or the applicant's agents will first present the applicant's case. I don't believe we have any members from the public here, but if we did, the members of the public would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. Then I will have the person from the planning department tell me about the staff report regarding the application and provide any testimony that he wishes. In the event that any party offers argument or testimony in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and offer their own perspective. At the end, I will give everyone an opportunity to make a closing statement. The applicant will have the final opportunity. He'll have the last word, essentially. After all presentations have been made, I'll close the hearing, and decisions can be expected within 2 to 3 weeks. I may limit, exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of this application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties, I will do my best to troubleshoot them on the fly. However, if it is beyond my capabilities, I will or might continue or postpone this hearing at my discretion. Okay, if anybody here is intending to testify, if you could take yourselves off mute and raise your right hand.
What if we don't know if we're going to be testifying?
It's better to swear yourselves
Okay.
in first and go from there. If not, it's fine. All right. Mr. O'Neill, if you could take yourself off mute.
Yes.
Got it. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Who would like to take the lead from the applicant side?
I can do that as part of the architecture firm who's been working on the project.
Sure.
I don't know if is it helpful to share a screen or is it just
If you would like to, you're totally welcome to share your screen.
okay. I will start just by talking and then I will share my screen in just a moment. But we've been working with the YWCA on this project for several years now at Van Antwerp Place, and there's been a renovation of the existing building, an addition, and a lot of, I think, really positive site work done on the project. And this particular variance is a request for relief of some of the fence height restrictions based on the zoning code. And that is in direct relationship to some grading changes that that happen across the site to make it accessible in terms of its entry, as well as just because of, again, some grade differences between the properties to the west or kind of at the back of the site overall. I will share my screen right now real quick. Sure. It will. Apologies.
All right.
And are you seeing the YWCA site plan?
Yes.
Great. So there's a significant grade change of the back of the site with the property behind it. So the idea being there that there's already a retaining wall and that the 6 foot is really that is allowed is kind of at the top of that retaining wall, so meeting the grade behind it, but it does make the fence closer to that 9'6" range of height, and it's a decorative wood fence, so it's a nice appearing fence for both sides of the neighbors. And then on the front of the building, there's a 4-foot decorative fence that goes up along a retaining wall, as I mentioned, about helping that grade to make sure that you can have a fully accessible entry into the addition. And the idea being that as that comes down, it would be nice to have the 6-foot fence continuing to the edge of that on either end of the property. The fence also for the YWCA provides an additional level of security for the folks that reside there, and also helps keep safe any kiddos that might be playing in the play yard area and keeps them in there and protected in that space as well. So those are the general notes of the kind of requests for variance that we have noted.
All right, sounds good. I will then, I suppose I'll turn it over. Let's turn it over first to, I don't know if Mr. Burson would prefer to testify or Mr. O'Neill or both.
I think I'm just here as a resource, maybe to ask some questions. I think Ms. Wilson has really can represent the YWCA's case.
Thank you. And with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Wilson.
Sure. So what I would just add, and thanks Liz for kind of giving the overview, is that we serve survivors of domestic violence. So all gender survivors, we serve singles and families, and this building can serve up to 120 individuals total. And so the piece about security and safety is our top priority. We are no longer a confidential location. We are a secured location, and fencing is part of that security. Ideally, we would have loved to have had privacy fencing all the way around the property, but understanding that that was not an option due to the other city ordinances, and so have had to make some accommodations and adjustments to be able to continue with having security on site in regards to fencing and cameras, but in needing different variances based on what Liz has already described. So in the back part of our building, if we don't have this high of a fence, there is the opportunity, because of that retaining wall, for potential abusers or other individuals just from the public to be able to get onto our property, hop over that kind of elevated space right onto our property, and therefore putting all of our families and singles at risk. And normally, if we have if an abuser does locate a survivor, we are relocating that individual or family within 24 hours. So it really jump starts us into having to secure safety elsewhere. It could be elsewhere in the state. It could be in another state, depending on where we have to relocate them to. So the fencing is extremely crucial for our daily operations and ultimately the safety of those that we're serving in this community and others.
Thank you. All right,
Welcome.
over to Mr. Coons. Anything to add?
I don't know that I have much substantive to add beyond what Liz and Tiffany have already shared. There's a lot of reasons that this fence would be an improvement over what's there now. It brings uniformity with the rest of the fence, and from a design perspective, I'd say, I'm eager to hear Mr. O'Neill's thoughts because he lives right across the street and this is what he sees outside his window. But I think it's going to look better with the fence kind of being even in line, in addition to the safety and security pieces that were already mentioned. So in addition to the fence, we have added some landscaping to help with some of the screening, so that visually, again, abusers would not be able to see the survivors on our property. And this fence will just kind of bolster that as well.
Got it. Thank you. Mr. O'Neill, anything you'd like me to know?
No, I mean, what's been presented makes sense for the protection of the people on the property. The fence being elevated. I mean, I've been here since the start of it all, so to see it all happen has been pretty amazing. Honestly, the work that you guys have been doing, what you have been going on. So I completely understand, because the neighborhood is, in more colorful words, it can be rough at certain times. So I can understand the security that might be needed. So I completely understand.
Thank you. We'll move over to Mr. Sheldon with the planning department. I do have your office's staff report. What would you like me to know about this situation of the faculty?
Maybe just reiterating a little bit of what's already been a testimony, maybe add to it a bit. Certainly this is a unique use, and it is a permitted use in this district, obviously. I'd spent a lot of time working with the engineers, mostly civil engineers, on the whole layout of the place, including the parking lot, and the play area and the landscaping and so on. And it makes sense from a security standpoint to be able to do this, both topography and security. I mean, there are topographic differences on the property in the rear, which explain why they would need that taller fence. Otherwise, as they explain, the topography would lead to a security issue because you have a retaining wall back there that makes people able to be at a higher level, essentially jumping up to get jumping in to get in the property. And in the front, there's that retaining wall there, so that it merely makes the fence just kind of level out with what's already at least present at roughly the same level. I think it's important to note this use for the security purposes. Also, I would say that I've been doing this for 10 years, and speaking to what Ms. Wilson said about the privacy fence, not only would that not be permitted for zoning, at least on the front, it would be on the rear, but I've had a lot of interactions with when I have had fence variances with police officers over the years, when people have had break-ins into a lot of car places and car dealerships or car repair places, but also in parking lots of mostly multifamily apartment complexes where people have there have been muggings and whatnot, and the police actually fence height matters for security, but the police actually appreciate the transparency of fences, because if they can't see what's going on behind there and somebody does get in over a 6-foot fence and it's a privacy fence, it's a problem for law enforcement to be able to see what's going on back. You know what I mean? What they're about to deal with. They don't understand what they're about to confront, whether somebody's armed or what. So I did want to explain that. That's based on personal experience as a professional, just over the years in people's submissions for these things, and in reading the comments where there have been crimes committed, where the police have written a police report or have written a brief letter commenting in support of the application for a taller fence. This has been a common theme over the years, so I'm just letting you know that the police will be happy that you have a higher fence for security, but that they can see through it in case they need to respond to somebody trying to get in. So I think for both those reasons, the topographic differences in front and in the rear, and for the security purposes of this unique land use, it makes sense. I think otherwise it would constitute a hardship for them. You would just have to end up beefing up some other form of security, or maybe have a security guard or something that would probably be great expense frankly to do that. To have a full-time person as a security guard here would I imagine be a major expense. So this is a more permanent solution that doesn't cost as much after it's paid for. It's there for a long time. So that's about all I can think of as far as the zoning relief. They did work with me really on the landscaping of the entire place. I think it's going to look nicer than it did before. They're certainly taking a vacant building and
So yes, they went through the zoning board.
we don't usually address blight in a situation like this when we're just talking about a fence, but it's certainly taking a blighted building and
But yes, I see
from
where they
a
went
planning
through,
standpoint and Plan Cincinnati
and
standpoint to
the
take this
ZBA did
from a
render
vacant building and
decision
turn it
in the
into a
case,
use that serves the
on
community and
April
helps people
17th, or,
and keeps them safe. I think that's all kind of a package deal.
they approved it.
That's
The
it.
application for
Thank
relief
you.
was approved by the zoning board
Mr.
of
Burson,
appeals.
did you have something you wanted to add?
Yes, and excuse the background noise. My neighbor's cutting their grass.
That's okay.
No, I just want to point out, I've been assisting the YWCA on this project since 2020. And I think that for them to bring life and function back to this apartment building that had been sitting vacant for a long time, I think is really a great idea for the community. And the use of it is very distinctive, and it does need some special considerations for the safety of the residents and the staff also, I want to point out. But I know during this period of time that I've been connected with the project, before we started construction, there were numerous break-ins. Someone had owned the property and was renovating it. They ran out of money in 2017, So it was just prone to a lot of break-ins and thefts. But the YWCA is going to be a great steward of this property and bring it back to life. So I just feel like some accommodations can help them do that in a way that protects the residents and the staff who work there every day.
All right. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to just any final statements, any closing statements from the applicant's side. I'll start with Ms. Schmidt. Anything in conclusion?
I don't know that I have anything to add. I think I appreciate everyone on here so far's understanding with the request, and the points that have been made are the exact reason why we are requesting this. So thank you.
Ms. Wilson?
I don't have anything else to add. I just thank everybody for your time today.
Mr. Coons?
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Mr. Burson, anything additional? Okay. All right, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to take all of this under advisement. I can let you know that I will be approving your application. So you will be able to do that. However, I will have to formalize that in a actual written decision, which again could take me about 3 weeks to get to you. But I do intend to approve this application. I think it's a great function. I used to be a prosecutor, so I am very well acquainted with the YWCA's mission here. So I appreciate everybody for their time, and yeah, I'll close this hearing out, but I will be approving. Oh, did you have something to say?
I just had a couple questions. I guess one, was there something mentioned about the apartment next door? That's kind of why I stepped away from the screen for a second, because the apartment next door, like I say, if you were looking at the building that's to the left, have you guys had any contact with that property owner? Just for example, I mean, I know it's a bit of an eyesore next door to you guys. Um, I mean, for example, I know the grass, I don't think it's been cut all summer at all. Um, so, and that particular building has had, uh, from the years I've been here since 22, just they've had a lot of activity that goes on next door. So I just didn't know if you guys had any contact with them, people that own that property, you know, any issues like that.
Are you asking the YWCA or?
Yeah, yeah, I am. I guess the
Yeah.
YWCA, yeah.
Sir,
I can
you
speak
do,
to it a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Mr.
it's,
Shaw.
I'm sorry, if it's not a YWCA owned property, if it's not, and it's somebody else, then if there are maintenance issues or other code violation issues, trash around it or weeds or other things, or if the place is decrepit in any way, gutters falling off or something, you can call 311, which is the city of Cincinnati's response system, and that will, if you leave the address, that will get routed to the appropriate building inspector and the PLAP people, the property enforcement folks in the Buildings and Inspections Department. That's really your best route for that. If it's not owned by the YWCA, it's not their responsibility to care for it.
Yeah,
So
I completely
I'm just
understand
trying
that.
to
I just didn't know.
give you an avenue for the proper avenue for trying to resolve property maintenance issues.
Okay, completely understand. I just didn't know if they had reached out to you guys or anything like that. Just because, I mean, just I know just from the area, that's probably our main activity that goes on, I would say, between our block right here. I just know in this past, especially in the summer times, the activity can kind of pick up. So that's why I completely understand, especially the fencing that can help secure your building. Just because anything like I said goes on is particularly in that area. So I just didn't know if you guys had any contact with them, had conversations with them, just because I know you're trying to bring some safety and protection, especially with your building. I think that's all I have.
I'm sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think that we've had any contact, but it's my understanding that the landlord to that building was indicted on federal charges in Texas. So I don't know if that, I'm assuming the same pathway that Mr. Sheldon shared about 311 would probably still be the best pathway to make a report.
Thank you.
Sounds good. And I appreciate that. And then I love to be a good neighbor, whatever I can do to help out. I've been in Avondale for over 12 years now. I have 2 properties in the area. My church is literally around the corner on Forest. So anything I can do to help out, if it's any way possible. Mr. Coons and I go way back. So if anything I can do, he can reach out to me. I know my daughter, I have a daughter, a 5-year-old daughter, and my son is 10. So ever since you guys put up that playground, she's been going crazy about, Daddy, can I go there? Daddy, what is that? Daddy, what is that? I was like, I don't think we can go there. But I'll let you know if we can. I've been always trying to get her a reason because I don't think y'all have the dirt in there yet. I said it's not done yet. We can't go. So that's the only reason I've been kind of straying her away. But other than that, we welcome you guys to the neighborhood for sure.
Mr. Burson, you had your hand raised.
Well, no, I was just going to say that the owner of that property, Visions and Beyond, have been in the subject of many articles in the Cincinnati Enquirer, and so they're one of the city's favorite property owners, I think. But no, they really they have a terrible reputation, and I think right now there's only maybe a couple of units that are occupied. So I don't know what the future status of that is going to be, but I think the recommendation to call 311 is the best path forward.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for your testimony. Again, I will have to formalize the approval in a written decision, but do know that I am intending to approve the application. Thank you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and close out this hearing. Have a good
Thank you.
one.
Doctor.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.